thing is that he came to us as like
Messiah.
a proof of that we can do it, a proof of that we as well, with all the struggles of our life, we can do it as well.
So I agree with you. He's a
we struggle as
messenger.
well.
He's a messenger, but he's not the Son of God.
Michael Jackson.
No, sorry.
No idea.
So we.
Let's put this in my bag.
Yeah. No worries.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the Trinity came much later, my friend.
Yeah.
The Trinity came much later. God being one has always been the message. It's always been the same message, one God. Logically, if you think about it, God being one is the most logical thing.
Yeah.
The Trinity...
Look, think about this, yeah? Before Jesus, you had the Torah, right, that came with Moses.
Oh, Torah, yeah.
So we've had human civilization throughout history, right? So you had Moses.
Yeah.
He wasn't a god, right? He was just a man, a prophet. He split the sea. Yeah, he split the sea. A massive miracle,
Moses,
yeah?
right? Yeah, I know.
So he was a man. He performed miracle. You had Noah with the ark, right? You know, Prophet Noah?
Yeah.
With the ark, yeah? He was just a man, but they had the great flood. Same way, if you just use your logic and your reason, right?
Yeah.
That all of these were men. So when Jesus came, we know he was a man. He was born, right? He ate food, right?
He did all the things
all
that
of the human things.
Yeah,
so what makes more sense, was he a god or was he a prophet? Because all of the previous people of God,
Then he'll walk away.
I see where you're coming from. I understand that. But the thing that we also believe, and it says in the Quran as well, that Jesus was sinless. That's true, right?
All prophets are sinless.
yeah.
Not really, not ultimately.
Yeah.
But Jesus was the only one that was sinless.
No.
Like throughout the
But
life.
even if that's
Throughout
true,
the whole life.
even that's true, it doesn't make him God. Even if he's sinless.
No, it doesn't make you God, but it does make you perfect. If you know what
Not
I
really,
mean.
because look, he ate and drank. God doesn't need to eat and drink, logically. So he's not perfect from that
Yeah,
perspective.
but I know. But
So look,
as well, like
you have to think for your own self. Forget the scriptures.
Right.
Use your common sense and logic.
Yeah.
If I said to him, he is God, this man,
They're human.
he's a human, you would say
of course,
never.
No, of course. I know.
You see, that's
where you're
just
going
common
from.
sense.
Yeah, I know.
You're a smart guy. You know what we're saying.
Yeah,
you know what we're saying.
You see, so what makes more sense? If someone tells you this man is God or he's a person of God, you would say it makes more sense that a human being is a person of God.
Yes.
And you would say God is God. This
God,
is
yeah.
logical and rational.
Yeah.
So what we're saying is Islam, you still get to keep Jesus.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
You don't lose Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
You put him in his right place as a man, as a prophet, as a messenger, as the Messiah. No
virgin
problem.
birth. We
The
believe in
virgin birth,
everything.
all of these things.
believe in everything.
But you put him in his right place. Because you know what the problem is? You got the Christians saying that there's a Trinity. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit,
Yes,
right?
that's right, yeah,
And Jesus
that's
is part of it.
Yeah.
You got the Muslims saying, no. There's
doesn't
only
make
one
sense.
God.
Yeah.
Someone is wrong. Someone is wrong. And salvation is dependent on that person being right.
Right.
Because once a message comes to you, right, you cannot then say, oh, the message didn't come to me.
Yeah.
So the point is, put all of this stuff aside, think for yourself. Because you're intelligent, I can see you're thinking for yourself.
Thank you.
What makes more sense? And you know what we do? In order to get to truth, we take information, we read it, we digest it, we make an informed decision.
Right.
So what we're saying to you is, take a copy of the Quran, he's given it to you, read it, right? Read it, and then you think for yourself what makes more sense. Because if you're
Which chapter is
sincere,
Maryam, 17 or 19?
God will show you the truth. You know me, I wasn't born as a Muslim,
You were born as
a Hindu.
a Hindu. Okay, Hindu. Okay.
I'm from a Hindu background, right?
Sure,
My parents are from India,
Okay,
Gujarat.
so Hindu,
So I
yeah.
grew up in London, multicultural, but as a Hindu, I used to go to the temple.
Okay.
I used to worship different idols, right? I used to
different gods and stuff.
yeah, different
Yeah,
gods,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And you had this idea of a man god, Krishna, Vishnu, Ganesh. And look, we respect all religions, but for me, that didn't make any sense, right? Multiple gods. If there's a
Multiple
God,
gods, yeah.
there must
There's
be
only
one God. Yeah.
Only one God. Yeah. I
Okay,
believe.
good. So you're following me. So I
Yeah.
looked at. So
we both like
So look,
kind
look.
of believe in the same things. It's
Exactly.
not that
Look,
far
look,
away
look.
apart.
But look, let me make the difference for you. For me, I never rejected God when I said these ideas were wrong. I always believed in God. Even though I didn't know what the religion was, I always believed in God. The reason I didn't accept Christianity, because remember, I'm born here. This is the center of Christendom.
Yes.
Yeah? This is where all of the missionary work and all of the stuff, it happened from here. Long history, right? So, I looked into Christianity. Why didn't I accept it? Why? Because in Christianity, you have the same thing in Hinduism. Another man God, which is Jesus, right? The difference between Islam and other religions is every other religion, what they do is either one or two things. They either humanize God, make God into a human, or they get a human and deify God.
Yes.
This is the difference.
Yeah, I know.
Islam is the only religion that says, say there is, say he is God, the one and only, one eternal and absolute, eternal God. He begets not, nor is he begotten. God has no parents, has no offspring, is self-sufficient. And most important, there's none like unto him. God is not like his creation. God does not become his creation.
Oh, you don't believe like we were made in his image?
No, God is not a human.
God is not a human. No.
God,
Look, a carpenter who makes a piece of furniture, can the carpenter ever become the piece of furniture?
No, in that sense.
No, because
Obviously not,
the
obviously
nature
not,
of the
but-
person and the nature of the furniture is different. The same
Yeah.
thing, the nature of God and the nature of creation is different. God never becomes the creation. That's the message.
I see. I got the message.
Does it make sense?
in the Quran, there's chapter 19 on Mary. You have the Quran, chapter 19.
Yeah, chapter Mary.
Read the story of Mary, because Mary is a very important figure to understand who Jesus is. Because logically, she can't be the mother of God. It makes no sense. She has to be a human, and her son's a human, and they both worship God. People believe Mary has special powers. No, she doesn't. Jesus doesn't have special powers. The way to really love Jesus is through Islam.
And even like we have evidences or signs from the Christians that he was this. Look, in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus fell upon his hands and face.
Bowed down to God.
He bowed down.
Yeah.
Who does that? The Muslims do
Yeah,
that.
he did.
Yeah? He asked God. He never
Mary
asked
wore a
himself.
hijab.
Mary wear hijab.
Mary,
yeah,
Mary,
you
yeah,
see,
yeah, I know.
they look like, if you look at Muslim sisters, they look Mary. All of
Yeah.
these are signs, indications of what is the truth. Because look, someone is wrong. Your personal salvation, you're responsible for it. You
Depends
can't
on it,
blame
yeah.
someone else.
Yeah, I know. It's a very difficult topic to explain.
course,
actually.
of course.
It would take hours.
100%, 100%. I agree.
Because in order to explain the Trinity, it's very confusing for someone who doesn't believe in it. It's very, very confusing.
Can I?
it would
What's your
be,
name?
Andre.
Andre.
Andre, yeah.
Andre, nice.
Andre, if I was to say to you, we can say the Trinity is a mystery. We can say the Trinity is a mystery, and some people say you believe in it because God's a mystery. However, the Trinity didn't come about until 300 years after Jesus.
Yeah, if you research
That's a
history,
question to look at. Way later. What was there in the earliest Christians was that they worshipped God alone.
Unitarian
The earliest
Christians.
Christians we say the earliest Christians were Muslim. Because Islam means submission to God. Submission to God.
Yeah.
So the early Jews were Muslims, the early Christians were Muslims. Anybody who believed in the previous scriptures were Muslims. And if you become Muslim, every deed you do, you get double the reward that I do. So if I fast and you fast, you get double the reward. Why? Because you came from a previous revelation as well.
Okay.
Yeah?
Look, I even go to the Bible. What's the greatest commandment? Let me test you. Let me see if you know.
His commandments.
Yeah, the greatest commandment in the New Testament.
The greatest commandment.
The greatest commandment.
You want me to rank
Just
rank them?
there's
or-
one verse that mentions this.
The Ten Commandments, the first.
Not the Ten Commandments.
Oh.
The companions of Jesus were discussing amongst themselves because he was giving them many commandments.
Right, yeah.
So they said to him, which is the greatest? You know what there is?
I feel like the greatest commandment would be to love others as you love yourself.
That's the second part.
As you love-
Everyone always gets
yeah,
this wrong. Everyone
so-
always
so-
gets this wrong.
Alright,
The
which
beginning
one's
of it is,
yeah.
he said the same words as Musa alayhi salam or Moses. He said the greatest commandment is, Hear, O Israel, our Lord and God is one
One God,
God.
one God.
Worship him with all your love and might. Then it goes on to love thy neighbor. So the greatest commandment he's saying is, Jesus is saying, my God and your God is one God. When you come to the 10 commandments, which he was talking about, what is the first commandment? Do you know?
The first commandment?
Yeah, of the 10 commandments in the Torah.
You put me on the spot now.
Have no God besides God. Same
Yeah.
one God,
Oh, yeah,
one
yeah.
God,
You
You
shall
one
have
God.
no gods before me. Yeah, only one God.
Yeah,
And you know when you say the Shahada,
You know, the Quran, its central message is very simple. There's only one God who's worthy of worship. Do you believe this?
yeah, he believed that. He said that.
But Jesus is not that God. He's a creation of God.
That's what we say.
What do you
yeah.
think?
You know, look,
creation-
you know, I can see he's conflicted because you know, in his mind, he's saying this makes sense.
What do you believe? Let's get him to speak. What do you
It's
believe?
a creation of God. Well, it is. It's difficult to explain, isn't it? It's difficult to explain.
But what do you
I
think?
mean,
We have time. What do you think?
What do you think? Yeah.
I think. I'm gonna say that's what we believe in. Is that Jesus is God.
But not what we
But
believe in. What do you think? That's this question.
What do I think?
Yes.
I think. I still think that Jesus is God. But,
I promise you something.
If you ask me to explain, then it's gonna it's gonna take. You're gonna
Sure,
take
sure. But I ask you
No.
something, Andre, right?
Yeah.
If you and I believe in the same God, the God of Abraham, okay?
But yeah.
Ask the God of Abraham, the Quran and the Bible, which one is true? Which one has the correct description of you, God, of you, Lord? Just do that sincerely and you'll be guided.
You'll be guided.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, there's one God, right? God is not the God of confusion.
Yes,
God does not
that's in the Bible.
God does not want to confuse us. The message is true. And what does it say? The biblical narrative? The truth shall
Set you free.
set you free. Someone is wrong here. You need to find that out for yourself, brother.
Okay. Well,
And take a sweet.
very much.
This is lovely
Another
talking to
one?
you.
Yeah, just take it.
Am I
Come
allowed
on.
to go? Okay.
Look, we're
Where are you
here-
from, by the way?
Portugal.
Ah,
Portugal.
nice,
Nice,
Portugal,
nice.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Portugal used to be ruled by the Muslims at one point.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know the history
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
word Portugal? Let's see if you know.
The history?
Yeah,
I think
the
it comes
name.
from the city Porto as well. But I do know that we have some words in our
Arabic.
in the Arabic.
You know what it
like
means?
Sala and.
You know what
and,
Portugal means in Arabic? Portugal.
Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
The Arabs named that region Portugal because of the oranges that were growing there. That's the
I
history
see,
of Portugal.
I knew that it meant orange. I didn't know why.
Yeah.
And how do you say shirt? What word do you use for shirt?
Shirt?
Kameez.
What do you mean shirt? What do you mean
Shirt,
by
shirt,
Oh,
shirt.
shirt. Yeah, camisole.
Which is Arabic. That's Arabic.
Yeah, I know. We have like a bit of a background. You know?
You probably had Muslim ancestors.
You probably,
Probably, if I
You
go
do have a
down
bit of
the
a North African look as well.
I'll have to look into it.
Have you ever been in a mosque?
No, I never.
Oh, you should go and check one out, you know?
Maybe you are my nephew.
Yeah, he's from North Africa.
Maybe.
He's your uncle.
relatives. But you know what, my advice to you is...
Do you have any Muslim friends? Sorry, go on, Karen.
I was going to say, just if you have Muslim friends, obviously ask them, but like, read the Quran, but go and visit a mosque. All mosques are open. Go and have a look for yourself. Don't
There's
let anyone tell
The
you.
Central Mosque in London, in Regent's Park.
I think they are departing now.
Oh, no.
Okay, no problem.
Great speaking to you.
Lovely
Great
talking.
speaking
Look,
to
we're
you.
here every Thursday.
Okay.
If you have any questions, come back
I'll
and
come
ask
back.
us.
All right. Thank
Take
you very
care.
much, guys.
Let's go under the...
Let's go under there. Subhanallah. That was a very interesting conversation, Suboor.
Yes. So maybe we turn it this way. So, Salahuden, how did it begin? So this is the tag teaming of dawah, right?
Yes.
He took the flyer, he didn't stop.
Subhanallah.
But then I stopped him because he was reading the flyer. So this happens, it's a tag team. In fact, one of the earliest shahadas that I saw was I gave a flyer to somebody, but he didn't stop. But then he's reading it and another brother spoke to him and then he became Muslim. That's Abu Zakaria, by the way.
Wow.
So the thing is, it's a tag
Mashallah.
team. Now, what's really interesting is, this is a typical person you would meet. They're open-minded, they're friendly, they're willing to take away the Quran, they're willing to read, they're willing to share their beliefs, they're willing to listen to you, they're willing to reason, they're willing to show a level of decorum. They're not arguing or fighting or like this other guy was trying to ask us about permission of being here, like being difficult. We are very sincere, nice people. Now, if we were not out here in the rain, brothers and sisters, like I said before, if we were not being patient, we would not talk to Andre.
Yeah, subhanAllah. And you know what? What was really interesting is we were hitting him with some core
Yeah.
concepts, yeah? Logical, rational, and this comes again from the Go rap, right? Just keeping it simple. And in his mind, you could see it tweaking, right? Because he knew what we were saying was making sense. And then he was trying to articulate what he believed, and he couldn't do it.
Going back, Salahuden read his mind, which is, you know that what we're saying makes sense, but the identity, but I believe, but it's going to take me time to explain the Trinity. We brought out not only the fact that logically it makes no sense, historically it doesn't fit. The early Christians didn't believe this. So we planted the seeds. Now the important thing is that at this point, make him leave with a positive feeling and image.
Subhanallah.
Don't, okay, now he wants to go, let him go.
Yeah.
Don't push him. Don't, like, we pushed him in a polite way, but you don't overdo it, because you know, make them leave with a positive image, because he'll come back inshallah and maybe he'll convert to Islam. Many Christians like this, they have a very positive view of Islam, and you don't want to undo that.
Yeah, you don't want to add to what's already out there in terms of negativity. So important, Suboor, you mentioned that, because even the Prophet ﷺ, when you looked at him and his dawah and the companions, they would do a lot of work in the community so that they would be seen favorably, so the engagements will be positive. Despite all of the hate that was happening, all of the allegations that were being made, they were countering that with positive engagement.
Absolutely.
And it's so important we do that as Muslims. So that was a brilliant conversation. I really enjoyed that.
Absolutely. And look, we were saying this before. We give dawah whether it's raining, day, whatever time it is. The fact is, if you're sincere and you're calling to Allah, people are going to come to you. And this guy, you know, he's a young guy, he was on a night out, he's with friends or whatever, but he stopped to speak about God. It shows you people out there are thirsty. They're actually thirsty. They want to know what the truth is.
Yeah. You know what's interesting you said about that technique, and we need to develop this actually, because you got me thinking now, is that, you know, the tag team, is that when you have a tag team, you have someone who's maybe handing out something, then you got someone, because it takes a bit of time, because they're constantly on the move, right? And so you got to have someone who's a bit further away, just keeping an eye, because then you see that interaction, and then you sort of stop them. So you're like, it worked.